as well, so it's panel backed up by another panel. But we can go ahead and bring out the folks over here, and then I've got Alex Lovely, who's going to be our moderator for this one. So, personally, come on here. This is the entrepreneur panel. Give a round of applause. So we've got Alex Lovely here. Alex, he is founder of the Legends Multifamily Mastermind. He is also a Las Vegas real estate investor. He's a motivational speaker, and he's also a Grant Cardone 10Xer. Anybody else? 10Xers out there? Does anyone else know what that is?
They're not allowed to be a 10Xer.
Can't be.
I'm not friends anymore. I'm friends with Elena.
Well, he is though.
I'm just kidding.
He's making an exception for you. Well, he may explain more about it if you want to. But a round of applause for our panel here. I'll let you introduce them.
I have a mic, I believe.
I'm going to keep that then.
Yes, thank you very much, and thank you, Todd, for having me, and Bill for giving me this opportunity.
Hey, can I say one thing before we get started? Because I'm in the interrupted day today. Today is my No, you're hosting. I want you to stand up with me. Come on, stand up with me. Everybody here I have a relationship with, except this guy at the end. I just met him. But, it's funny you see. What do you do here? Anyways, I like to bring people or find people that add value. All these panels, someone does something unique. They have their own level of passion. Now, this person right here is a lunatic. All she does is tell me what she does every single day and tries to recruit everyone to her cause, which, by the way, is a wonderful cause. I'm teasing you, by the way. But a wonderful cause here is helping people get healthy. And so I really mean this sincerely. Everyone has value here. I don't know how you can sell roast to everyone around the world here because you're only in Florida, but I encourage you to listen. All these people have committed themselves to something and are brave enough to get up here because, by the way, people are nervous to be up here. Anyways, enjoy.
Thank you. So first of all, I've made such amazing connections just being in this conference here, and getting to know these panelists has, really I feel like we should change the name from Entrepreneur Panel to Impact Panel. Yeah. Because they are amazing, epic people. And the goal here in the game for us is to really get to know them. And then also I hope that you guys take something away of how you can create and make a difference, a positive impact in the world. All right, so really, really honored to introduce Michelle and Angel, Connor, Richie, and Zach. So Michelle, I want to start with you because, what you do, I really feel resonated with. I'm really inspired with. You might not see it in the book, but I work with teens that are, aging out of foster homes. I work with teens that are troubled, rescued from human trafficking. So, with personal development background and entrepreneur background, I really feel like I can make a difference. So I would love to just hear from you, what got you into this space, and if you can just share with everyone, exactly what you do, and we'll start there.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I first want to thank Todd and Christy Alt and Bill Walsh in the back for having us up here. Raise your hand, Bill. I see you back there. But it's very, very important that your story doesn't define who you are, and that you are able to use your story to then make a difference. So I'm a global breakthrough specialist. I help people tell their stories through course content creation, public speaking, and also book publishing. And my main cause, and where my heart lies, is I run a nonprofit organization called the Unsilenced Voices, combating domestic violence and human trafficking. The bulk of our programming is in Sierra Leone, West Africa, and we are looking to expand and grow. So if you are interested, please give me but it's interesting. I went through an extreme tragedy in my life, and because of going through something so horrific, it propelled me to do something even more. So I want anybody who's in this room who's ever experienced any type of adversity to know that that does not define you, and that you can do something with that story and make an even greater impact.
Let's give it up for that. Sure. And I do want to say that when we can move kids and teens from a place of pain to purpose, I really think that that's how we empower these kids to get out of, the victim mentality that they have to have the recognition and awareness that the pain and the stories that they've gone through and all of that is actually exactly what the world needs, right? Their story and and they need somebody to believe in. So that's amazing. Cool. So let's go down to Angel. Angel, you host, you help people get on podcasts. You have a network of 40,000 hosts. That's amazing. So tell us a little bit about the impact that you want to make and what inspired you to be in this space.
Well, thank you, Alex. And also I want to thank Todd and Bill for this opportunity and for my lipstick that fell on the ground. Do you ever have somebody believe in you more than you believed in yourself? Like they saw something in you before you saw it in yourself? And I've had several people in my life that have done that for me, that they've seen something in me, and I walked through that door and I said, yes. Today, I get to do that for other people. I call myself a media matchmaker because somebody else gave me that title. I love building relationships. I love connecting people. When I meet somebody, I just have this connection. I'm like, oh, I know exactly the podcast you should be on. I know exactly who you should be introduced to. I know exactly the perfect stage for you. And my brain just loves to play matchmaker. And the thing is, we're all making an impact. Whether it's in our family, in our community, in our church. But the key is, the world needs your story. And we need to share it more often and in front of more people. Because there are people that are dying, they're crying to hear what it is that you're doing, how you can help them, to inspire them, to bring light into the darkness. And so 2 years ago, I started a brand new Facebook group because people were always coming to me saying, Angela, I need a guest. I'm like, oh, you should have Michelle, you should have Alex, you should have Richie, like I can connect those dots for you. And so I started this Facebook group really just under the idea that maybe I could connect a few people together. And I didn't know at the time the impact that was going to take and make. And in the last 2 years, that group has grown from 10,000 people to 40,000 people. And the network is now over 60,000 people. But it was because I trusted my instinct. I stepped in and I had faith. And I took action. And every day I wake up thinking, who can I connect? How can I make an impact? And now sitting in this audience this weekend, I thought, how can I serve my country even greater? How can I serve my God even greater? And so I thought I was making an impact. But I walked into this room and I'm walking out going, how can I make an even bigger impact?
Amazing. Wow. So Connor is a really inspiring young man. I got a chance to just talk with him and his mother in the back, and wow, I'm really impressed. And I looked him up a little bit before we had this panel. So, you know, Connor, can you share a little bit of your story of how you started to create the microgreens and everything about health, like how you're trying to serve the world?
Of course, and thank you so much. I'm honored to be out here. Thank you so much, Todd, for allowing me to be in this room with all these incredible people, and Bill for all the support you've had. So for me, how I started my business, I had a lot of health challenges throughout my life, and when I was 7, it got to be to the point where I couldn't get out the door. I could barely wear clothes. I did a thermography scan, which shows the inflammation in my body, and I was worse than any adult they had ever seen. They thought I had cancer. So I had to change things. I went on a gut repair diet and started growing microgreens. I took on that saying of let food be thy medicine. And when I did that, 8 months later, I did that same thermography scan, and it was night and day. It changed my life. So when COVID hit and the produce got super funky, that's when I realized that I needed to share what has inspired me and healed me with the world. And so I created my first business when I was 14. Thank you.
Wait. I read something about your actual first business. Can you tell me that first business? Your first business as a kid.
So my very first business, I was 3 at the time, and we were walking into Beals, and I saw this rock on the ground, and all of a sudden I had an idea. So I pick up this rock, and I go over to this complete stranger, and I say, would you like to buy a rock? He just looked at me. How much is your rock? I said, $1. It's like, okay. He handed me the $1, and I went to go hand him that rock, and he said, no, you keep it, sell it to the next person. What a great business model. You even get to keep your inventory. Meanwhile, my mom's over there like, what do I do with this? Do I intervene? Do I just let this happen? So I got a talk on supply and demand afterwards. I was hooked after that.
Sometimes you become an entrepreneur, other times you're just born as an entrepreneur. That's awesome. Really inspiring. Richie, I've known you for a little bit now, and you want to empower other business owners. So can you talk a little bit about your journey and how it led you to wanting to empower people? Like, you first had your business, right? Your business is doing well, and then what naturally into service.
Okay, so first I want to say this is the first time ever that I've ever in my life have wore makeup. So I hope I look okay. And why did I do it? Because everybody else did it. That's what happens in the backstage. You gotta look around. All the fun stuff you think. But anyways, so yeah, I started my business. I've been in the roofing industry pretty much my whole life, and over 30 years now. Had my business, went into debt like real bad my first year in business, and then I was able to get out of debt by hiring some coaches and mentors to help me grow and create systems and processes and all these different things that you need in business to be able to regulate and see what's going on with your business. And by the way, it doesn't matter if you can get this business, if you're at $1 or $3 million a year and you set up a system in your business, when you go to like 7 or 10 million, that system's gonna break and you gotta do it again. So if you're in business and you feel like, you get to the next level and it's always gonna, you're always breaking shit in business, and you just gotta keep on moving and trying to figure out the next step to getting to the next level. It's like video games, you gotta get to the next level, you gotta beat the boss, and you gotta keep on going. So what happened was I finally got out of the debt, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna rest on my laurels. I got money in the bank, I bought the house on my dreams, I had the wife on my dreams, I got the kids, everything I wanted, I had time, I had money. Usually you don't get those two things in one spot, but I had it, and then all of a sudden I started getting kind of miserable, right? And I couldn't figure out why I was miserable. I had money, I had time, I had everything I wanted. I didn't have to look at my bank statement when I was in line at Sam's to go shopping or anything like that. But what I figured out that I wasn't doing anything to help anybody else out. So that really started hitting me hard. And the more I started to help other people do things and grow, the better I felt. So then it became like a drug, right? And I know how that feels because I did a lot of drugs back in the day, and I knew that progression of feeling. And then I started helping more people. The more I helped people that worked for me intermittently, the better I felt all the time. So then I started reaching out and saying, damn, I need more people. Because all these people are starting to get their shit together. Right? So when all my people started buying houses and trucks and everything else, then I had to find more people. Then it moved from people that worked for me that I found to other businesses. So when I started seeing other businesses struggling, because I figured I can't be the only one that went through this kind of struggle. So I started seeking out other people that were having troubles and figuring out what it was. And from the outside looking in, you can look at somebody else's business and you can see clearly what's wrong. And you're able to fix it. Now, you can't always do that in your own business. I'm going through that stuff myself now, and I go through it constantly. Sometimes you can't see your own stuff, and I have to call Bill and say, hey, I got a problem here, what do I got to do? And Bill's like, do this, this, and this. It's just so simple. So I started helping other people grow their, fix their businesses or grow their businesses, and then that is where I started, getting into coaching and stuff like that, and helping other people grow and scale.
Awesome, thank you. Zach, I'm excited to ask Zach some questions because he's also known as Vanilla Rice.
Rice, baby.
And he owns Vanilla Rice Hibachi, and he's a successful restaurant owner. I owned 2 restaurants before, and has anybody in here been in the restaurant industry, worked, or it's like something that I don't wish upon anybody, And so I have this belief around it. And so I would love to just hear your story. How did you become successful in this game? And I think part of it, this passion is involved in this.
Yeah, well, first up, before we start, I need to hear some noise. RiskOn 360, what's going on? Yeah, see some people back there. I know it's early. Super blessed to be here, super appreciative. I'll tell you what, never thought I'd be on a stage like this. I'm super blessed, and I'm just happy to be here. So thank you so much for throwing this event. Right now, like I said, Vanilla Rice was not Vanilla Rice about 13 years ago. Started out, was failing school, had to pick up some summer school classes, and like every good mom, does, she's like, well, you're gonna, get a summer job, pay for summer school, and mind you, my mom's a school teacher, so her kid was graduating school. You know, she did not want to be the school teacher that kid was not walking. And got a job at the local hibachi restaurant, teppanyaki restaurant. Imagine, you know, walking in back there, a little 15-year-old white kid walking in there with everybody that speaks Spanish. And I'm walking into an entirely new world, right? And so that, you know, started washing dishes, and you know, in the time, you know, parents are dropping me off. You know, I'm doing summer school. I didn't really have a summer for any year throughout high school. I like to party a lot. You know, I just like to have a good time. And unfortunately, my dad had passed away when I was about 16 years old. So this, you know, this spare income this spare money to pay for summer school actually turned into a second stream of income for the household, right? I'm going to school and talking to kids and asking, I'm like, hey, you guys don't pay your own health insurance? You guys don't pay your own phone bill? Like, no, we don't do that. And so, you know, I had to grow up really fast and pick up these extra bills and stuff that my mom couldn't pay for me anymore. And to make the story very, you know, short and fast, you know, that turned into, you know, I saw everybody getting raises. You know, I heard a raise. 15 years old, everyone's getting raises. I'm like, I want a raise. How do I get a raise? And my boss at the time looks me in the eye and says, hey boss, I want a raise. I think I'm #1 dishwasher here. And he looks at me, he goes, Zach, dishwashers don't get raises. It was that moment where I was like, well, what the hell do I do? And so, you know, basically taught me a big valuable lesson. You just need to keep adding value to the restaurant. So I was like, okay, well, if the dishwashers don't get raises, what do I have to do to get one? And that turned into learning how to, you know, prep vegetables and cut proteins and scrub the grills for the hibachi chefs and set up their carts. And one thing led to another. Next thing you know, I'm cooking at 17 years old. I'm doing hibachi tables with people. I'm allowed to say it now, I'm taking sake shots with people and stuff like that, you know, at 17 with the hibachi grill. And, you know, it was just always wanting more, you know. I truly believe that, you know, there's three traits of a hyper-successful human being. And, you know, one is being able to, you know, hold your composure when times get hard and times get rough. Another one is you know, you always, and humbly, you always think that you're the best. You know, you always think that you're better. You always go out there with that Tom Brady mentality. So I just truly, you know, embrace that to the fullest, and I encourage everybody to do the same thing. You know, I slowly transitioned into, you know, food truck to restaurant to brick and mortar and all that stuff. And, you know, I'm sitting there going to my purpose food. I tried to get into all these different businesses, but for some reason I just kept waking up every single day and chasing food. And you know what I actually realized is my purpose on life isn't just food. My purpose on life is to inspire people.
Awesome. That's amazing. To make it in the food industry is extremely tough. So I mean, at least for me, that's my story, I guess. But, you know, kudos to you on that. I want to come back and I guess ask all of you guys and take a couple seconds to answer this. I guess, like, what was your biggest inspiration, and who mentored you or who inspired you to step into the space that you're in today?
So when I went through my experience, I was bartending. So restaurant industry. I spent 16 years in the restaurant industry bartending. And I was literally pouring Jack and Cokes. And I felt called to do something more. I felt like God was calling me to do something with my story. And He kept opening doors for me. You see, if you tell God yes, He will open the right doors. And my first door was with Bill Walsh. And I ended up working with Bill Walsh through Rainmaker and through Platinum Speaker Camp, and started speaking on stages. And then the doors continued to open. And now I'm sitting here so thankful for Todd and Christy Alt, so thankful for everybody who I've been able to meet, but it was because I decided to say yes. And that's something of encouragement that I want you all to take away, because like Todd said, you don't know who you're sitting next to. You know, Jon Stewart, I never met Jon Stewart, but all of a sudden Todd told me, Jon Stewart funds charities. I'm like, I need to meet Jon Stewart. Lo and behold, I was able to meet Jon Stewart before he left the room. Look around you, see who's with you, see who's next to you. They can help you. Use your voice, speak up, and say yes.
Literally 2 seconds after she said, I need to meet Jon Stewart, he walks in. And I'm over here shocked because I can't get out of my mind. He sounds like Robert Downey Jr. I'm like, are you Iron Man? Like, the way he was asking questions and everything, so if you get a chance to speak to him or if you know him, it's pretty funny. Go ahead.
All right, so who inspired me?
Who or what inspired
What
you?
inspired you? So my dad was in the Navy. I traveled around a lot. I never, if I started a school year, I didn't finish it because we moved. Or if I was finishing, I was super shy. I didn't have any friends. I was always like the new girl. I wasn't ever, like I didn't have any long-term friends. I was super, super shy, totally introverted. And so when you think about like, what am I gonna do? What kind of position? Like, how am I gonna make an impact? I am super, super shy. I almost didn't graduate high school because I was so nervous for public speaking, to stand in front of my peers and tell them how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And so the fact that I started a podcast, right, in 2006. Something I could do from home, like in a basement with a microphone. And my podcast got discovered by my local radio station. So with no background in broadcasting, no background in journalism, I was invited. So I wrote a book called Get Discovered. It's not just my clever title, it's my story. I got discovered and I was invited to come in and do a daily radio talk show. And I was an unknown in this space. I ended up with a 10-year career in broadcasting. When I left broadcasting, I was hosting 4 hours of talk radio every day. It was in the top 1% of broadcasters. There are less than a dozen women who have host 4 hours of talk radio every day. I was sitting in a windowless cubicle when I met Bill Walsh. And Bill says, we need more women to speak on stages. I would end up on many panels, many places where there were tons of women in the room, but very few women speaking on stages. And Bill opened up an opportunity, took this little girl who was completely afraid of public speaking. I went and spoke on 100 stages in my first year, 1 foot completely terrified, but the other foot completely excited and on fire for the mission that God had gave me. Your voice matters. The more impact, if we can get you booked on more podcasts, more stages, you create influence. Your story matters. And if we're not sharing it and we're not getting that story out every single week in front of another audience, so borrow OPP, other people's podcasts, get booked on podcasts. I want to say that it was my mom who didn't have a career. She was a stay-at-home mom. She was a Navy wife. My dad left us for months at a time to go and be on a ship. She is my hero and she inspires me every day. But when you ask my mom, what do I do? She's like, well, she talks about business. I'm like, Mom, I have been the sole breadwinner for my family for the last 7 years. I run a podcast network community, but because I don't leave and go to an office, my mom doesn't think I run a business. And so every day I get up to motivate and inspire that woman to help her to become more proud of me every single day. She's just done an amazing job.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm just been notified that we only got like 5 minutes. So super laser, super sharp. We're just gonna go through this and we're gonna give you guys a chance to also ask questions, but only like 3-word questions.
So,
go ahead.
So raise your hand if you've ever heard, you should get a real job. I know I have. I was in a small town in Florida, and that was what I heard all the time. When I met Bill, he was the first person who sat down and talked with me, thought of me as a real business, and having someone believe in me like that was so impactful and so powerful. And he supported me ever since. And he gave me that opportunity to talk with Todd. Todd has been so supportive of me and has inspired me to go past my comfort zone. And today, right now, what he's been inspiring me to do is launch my own product that is a unicorn out there. It's reptile microgreens, and if anyone's interested in learning more and supporting what I'm doing, it's really impactful. Take out your phone and text reptile to 26786. That's reptile to 26786. How's that for fast?
Do it. Everybody should do it, right? I mean, this is how you support others that are in this space, and the more that you support people, the more you're going to thrive as well. I mean, we've all heard here together that like everybody's door seems to be Bill Walsh, right? So he's just helping these entrepreneurs, and it's also going to 10x his business and his reputation. So text that number, guys. All right, Richie, go ahead.
So who do I want to be when I grow up? Well, that's easy. Bill Walsh. Most of us, you can tell who put this panel together, right? No, I've had many mentors in my life, and you know, when I met Bill, it kind of opened up a whole nother avenue. Like these other guys charge me to teach me and everything. Bill charges me, you know, nothing's for free. But he has introduced me to people who change my business every time I'm with him. So I try to invest at least 3 to 5 days every month, and that's how I ended up meeting Todd. And I think, you know, we kind of became kind of friends. He doesn't answer the phone like a friend, but you want Todd, you got to go through Skylar. We figured that out. But yeah, Bill Walsh has been a real instrumental person in my life to like help me grow and get past and put me on stages. And you know, I've been over 50 stages in the last year. And I can't thank him enough for, you know, helping me create impact to the world.
Amazing, amazing. All right, last, super quick. Crazy, that.
Richie, wait, one second. Richie, like, there's the simplest path to be able to get a hold of me. Her name is Skylar. Where's Skylar? All you have to do is go through Skylar, because I get like a billion requests. But it's not like on purpose. It's like during the middle of the day, if you saw my day, I would open up in the morning, about 5:30 in the morning. My wife will say to you, if we party until 3:30 in the morning, Todd's still going to get up at 5:30. And I trade all day long, and at 1 o'clock in the morning, where's Jason? Jason, what time do we start trading the market? 1 a.m. Europe opens, right? 4 a.m. again, we check in with each other. 6:30 at the open. It's not on purpose, but if you guys want to talk to me, my assistant will make sure you talk to me. I'm open to the world.
I sent Todd a message.
Especially you.
I sent Todd a message, and like a week and a half later, he sends me a picture of the Astoral Eye robot.
Hey, this next guy has a hibachi restaurant. You asked the question about restaurants. I owned at one point Jack in the Box. You guys ever eaten at Jack in the Box? Who ate at Jack in the Box? Raise your hand. Sharon knows this. Jack in the Box served E. coli burgers, and the stock went from $18 to $2.75. And of course, that means the scavenger, the scum-sucking bottom roller that I am, is there to buy 1,000 restaurants trading for less than $200,000 a restaurant below replacement value. We ran Jack for president against Bill Clinton. The whole world changed. The bottom of the safest in the world, that stock, $275 to $300. So this guy says, hey, I like hibachi, but my wife will say, I don't want to go into Korean barbecue or hibachi. I get all smelly afterwards, cooking food, smell. This guy makes a takeout thing. I'm thinking, you just pictured me back there. Really interesting idea, right? So there's a person in this room that knows Bill Walsh. By the way, everyone must know Bill Walsh, who has like 500 of these things selling bowls, asahi bowls, right? These ideas are cool. You guys should talk to this guy. Maybe you can get a franchise or whatever. It's a cool idea for hibachi. Anyways, I don't want to interrupt you, but I did.
No, thank you so much for that. Definitely, I really appreciate that. Yeah, if you guys want to invest, it's going to be realvanillarice_ on Instagram. Shoot me a follow. You see my journey, and hopefully I can inspire you on there. We can definitely connect. But the question was inspiring, correct? What was the moment that
Who or
inspired
what inspires you?
Who or what inspires
Or
you? So it's moments like when I was cooking hibachi. I'm sitting there, you know, I'm trying to figure out what I want to do in my life and try to take the next journey. And I don't know if anybody's familiar with like Seven Hills, Anthem area out here. It's a very, you know, wealthier part of town, and that's where I worked at. Little did I know, this whole time I'm cooking every Saturday for this guy that I actually spoke yesterday named Brad Lee. I didn't even know who the guy was. I just know he's like, yeah, medium rare, and then, you know, just on his phone, right? And one day, you know, I'm getting into personal development and stuff like that. I'm starting to listen to, you know, watch videos, YouTube videos.
Nobody likes Bradley.
Yeah. I'm watching actually a Grant Cardone video, and he's like, man, I'm about to go kick it with my boys in Vegas. And he gets off the jet, and the first guy I see on the video is this guy I just cooked for yesterday and his family. I'm like, wait, I know that guy. I'm like, I just cooked for him 2 days ago. And so, you know, I see him a couple days later, and I go, hey man, I saw you on a Grant Cardone video. He goes, no, you saw Grant Cardone on my video. and he would come to hibachi, and he would just, you know, it's a Tuesday, eating hibachi, you know, this is spending some money with him, slapping his Rolls Royce keys on the table, kicking back, acting like nothing's going on. And I would sit there and be like, who is this guy? What do you do? And it's moments like that, and I just actually catered to him 2 weeks ago, and I told him the same exact story, that him putting his Rolls Royce key on the table was something that really inspired me, him and other guests as well. And it's funny because he pulled his brand new Rolls Royce key out, slaps on the table, goes, we're gonna do it again. So it's moments like that.
Ask Bradley where he got his Rolex.
Yeah, and so that's, since things like that
Brad.
definitely inspire me.
I love Brad. Awesome. So one of the so one of the things I think in common that everybody has here is everyone is inspired to serve, right? And in service, like you either find your passion or you find your purpose in your business, and it helps you carry that forward. We're running out of time here, so I would love just for each one of you to share like super laser, real quick, maybe like 5-6 words of just something you want to share with the audience if you guys didn't get a chance to.
The R in RiskOn, relationship. Just meet people, shake their hands, open doors, do business, but nurture those relationships.
Okay, that was a lot more than 6 words, but okay, go ahead.
I would just say get booked on podcasts, share your story. The world needs it.
Amazing.
With every challenge comes a seed of equal or greater opportunity. It's a seed, you have to water it.
There you go.
Mic drop.
Serve water at the table until you get a seat there.
Oh, can I get that? What was that?
Serve water at the table till you get a seat there.
Serve water at the table
Means,
until you get a seat there.
yeah, you can't afford to be at the
Wow, got
table. You figure out a way to get close to the
Got it.
table.
I love it. And
Proximity.
serving.
This guy's ruined my day. I want some more.
I know, my song's terrible.
Don't ever give up. That job you had before you started that business, you can always go back to that.
Okay, amazing. So give it up for the panelists. You guys definitely want to network and meet them while you get a chance while they're still here. So thank you
Today's
guys
the
all so
day.
much.
Today's the day. We're not going to end. If she wants me to end, we're not ending.
Oh,
Today's
okay.
the day that I disrupt the whole conference. So all of you who are here today, right this minute, one, I need you, if you would be kind, to give a testimonial when you get a chance, because I want the people on the last day who stayed here to do the testimonials. 2, if you stay to the end, I promise you, I'm going to give you a gift that you're going to take home today. That's one of my favorite things I've ever done or participated in. I'm going to give it to you. The guy who made it, you'll know, is super famous, and he sent them all to me, and I'm going to give them to you. But I want to tell a story. Let's see here. Just say yes.
Yes.
So, is anybody here afraid of heights or cliffs or falling off a cliff? Anybody afraid of heights? All right. How about like snakes? Crocodiles? Maybe? People? How about like diseases? Where I'm going to go to a foreign country, I could get a disease in Africa like Ebola or something, right? So this situation completely changed my life. Talk about committing and just saying yes. So I travel on a G550. I didn't used to. I used to travel on Delta, and I got like all the diamond thing and all the 360 stuff because I traveled like crazy. And I developed a hatred for going on a commercial plane. Now, you're going to say that's like a first world problem. But imagine that you're going to go to Africa. And I know my wife has had to pack for a 14-day, 15-day trip to Africa, which most people say, poor Todd. But I was like, I'm going to go. First of all, I like to go stay, like when I go camping, my kids grew up thinking that Ritz-Carlton was camping. Like, we're going to go camping. And we're going to stay, and my wife called it fancy camping, where she would like actually go camping, like where there's a tent. And I promised myself this following thing, and I don't know where I got it from, but you keep saying it, which is I'm going to say yes and not be a miserable fuck the entire time that we're on this trip. Because I had to take like 12 planes, prop planes, and I was 50 pounds heavier than I am today. We're going to go to Africa. We're going to go to Kenya. I'm nervous we're going to stay. I like to have a nice bathroom by where I go. Like I want to be able to use the restroom. I'm a particular person where I'm like a little germaphobe, so I wash my hands a bunch of times. So going to Africa, oh, by the way, Don't forget, you got to get a bunch of shots and take all these things before you go to Africa. But play the video. Here you go. Play the video.
We're gonna miss them. There's hippos right here. Wow. Hippos right there.
Guess you don't want to land in the hippos.
Oh, I see.
It's only 30 seconds. But we're over a river where there's crocodiles right below us. There's, like, I envisioned me crashing in an airplane, these little Cessnas, and I'm in the middle of the Kenya desert, the Serengeti. And that's the guy. And I'm over a river where if we go in the river, we're dead. Like, I mean, we're dead. Like, you don't have to play it again. We're dead. But I decided that but the second I was going to get on the plane, we were going with someone else. Now, this person worked for me. But it was someone's 50th birthday, and her husband worked for me, and he will openly acknowledge that he is the orneriest motherfucker in the world. He complains to people, he treats people poorly at restaurants. He's a good lawyer, but he's completely an asshole. Like, I mean, so much so that, you know, like when you go to dinner with somebody and they say to the waiter, he's just trying to serve you, like, did you not hear me that I said I wanted Diet Coke? So my wife is completely stressed out about this. And so I say to her, you don't need to worry, it's going to be a great trip. And I decided I would say yes to everything. I'm going to say yes to every single thing she requests. So we fly, we miss one of our flights in Amsterdam, we're late to Kenya. I'd love to hang out in the Kenyan airport. We're late to Kenya, we got to take another flight over. This is like, you got to take a flight to a person on a mule, to a person on a, it's completely miserable. But not for me, I just said yes. It's good, we're going to yes. They lose all of our luggage. And they lose the miserable guy's luggage too. But my wife is smart enough to say, but I always pack a go bag. So she has a go bag ready for me. It's all ready to go. So we have like 2 days of laundry. They're miserable for 3 days. And by the way, you're in the middle of Africa. They say, oh, yeah, you're going to get your luggage. Sure, I'm almost done. They're sure you're going to get your luggage. I said yes to everything. We get there. We're in the same clothes we traveled for 17 hours in. She said, there's a game drive tonight at 5 o'clock. You want to go? Yes, honey. I want to go. Get up at 7 a.m. the next morning. You want to go on another game drive? You want to go on a night game drive? You want to go here and eat this crap or eat this crap or do this? Constantly. Yes, 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 yes. This trip changed my life. By the way, it's really simple. Imagine lost luggage, going on a caravan, this miserable plane that's like a FedEx plane where they cram you in the back. I'm so fat, the seatbelts don't work. But I'm saying yes. But literally, I'm telling you, I'm out there in the African desert, and I can see the lion. And by the way, you're the lion, I'm right here. The lion can just come eat me. And he's looking, saying, the body fat ratio, this guy might be we might eat this guy. I'm not joking around. If you say yes, your life will change. Just say yes. Because I'm telling you, there's a song about turning 40. You guys all know that? Live like you're dying. Yeah. Pay attention to the meaning because it's so simple to say yes to something. Say yes to trying out his hibachi restaurant. Say yes to getting to know how he markets or microgreens if you need. Just say yes. Give it a try. I'm just simply, there's simply yeses you know too. You know that someone asks you, your kid asks you, hey, you play basketball? And you go, I'm busy. Just say yes. It will change your life. I want to introduce you to a few people real quickly. Imagine being 96 years old and being here today. Wow. I want you guys to do me a favor. Have Burke stand up. This is my father-in-law. He's 96 years old. He just moved to Las Vegas. Say hello to Burke. Burke Johnson. There you go, Burke. Look at that. Adam, make him get out of the seat. 96 years old. I have 4 kids. One of them, the youngest, hates her dad. But she's here today. She'll say she doesn't hate me, but I'm pretty sure she does. And that's okay because I love her and I say yes to her every day. She's brilliant. She has like a 180 IQ. She taught herself, now I'm not allowed to say this because my wife thinks it's fluffery. But when we went to Japan in 2017, she was 8 years old. before we went to Japan, I promised her, you learn Japanese, I'll take you to Japan. She's fluent in Japanese when we get there. She speaks and orders all the food in Japanese. I go around Japan. The Japanese are so fascinated that she can speak Japanese. She speaks 8 languages at one point in her life. Now, my wife would say it's at least 6 because sign language, what kind of language? I don't know what the issue is here, but if my daughter can stand up, there's Asia Alt right there. Stand up, Asia. Asia has every issue known to man because she's so smart that she's able to study the genome of everything that could possibly go wrong. And she probably doesn't want to be here because there's a crowd of people here and you all have diseases. But guess what? She said yes. Thank you guys so much. Say yes. Listen to what Michelle said. Say yes, everybody. Who's up next?
Does anybody want my Cash App? Say yes.
There you go. Say yes.
Yes.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you.
All right, we got a good show. By the way, stay to the end. I'm gonna
Thank
give
you guys.